Paul talks about in Ephesians that our ultimate fight is not against flesh and blood.
That's right.
Which it feels like it is, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like, no, I think my fight is against.
Yeah, because I'm feeling
is
it.
against
Right.
my wife at this moment, and we can't come to an agreement on what a Yeti cooler is,
Right.
and we're trying to discuss this. And I do feel like Kaylee knows what I'm talking about. The other day I was like, we're getting
fight.
a Yeti cooler. And she's like, what do you mean by cooler? Is it like a mug? Is it a cup? I'm like, no, it's a cooler. But what kind of cooler is it? I'm like, what do you mean? It's a freaking cooler.
There's a lot of different
I didn't
sizes.
buy it. I'm just,
It was
I
his
got
last
gifted
straw.
it.
He
Yeah.
But wait, are you
exploded.
buying it because it says Yeti on
No,
it?
someone
Nirup,
gave it
is
to me.
a-
And she's like, what kind of cooler is it? Like, can you drink out of it? Like, I didn't buy it. I'm just saying I'm like, after
like an
18
hour,
years,
we
why
talked
can't
about
we
it.
communicate? You know?
Welcome to the Mandy Show, the Mandy Show, the Mandy Show.
Sometimes we don't talk about the wilder aspects of following God. And nowadays it almost feels cliche or prosaic to talk about how David killed a literal giant, or how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego sat in a fiery furnace and lived to tell about it. Moses struck a rock with a staff and water poured out of it, or how blind people were healed. Like 1 minute they couldn't see and then suddenly they could, or how Peter walked on water until he remembered he shouldn't be able to. It's almost like we think of these accounts as cool stories that show up in children's books, those stories for kids who still have an imagination for impossible things. And then I remembered that now, as contemporary people who follow Jesus, we are still asked to believe things that others think is impossible. The Annunciation, resurrection, transfiguration, turning water into wine, and raising people from the dead. These are things that people who witnessed Jesus firsthand were so convinced of that they gave their lives for. It was that real. And so what I want to argue for today is perhaps it's time to regain our imagination for the mysteries of God. Madeleine L'Engle, in her book, Walking on Water, talks about how on May 15th, 1963, the Mercury Atlas 9 mission launched from Cape Canaveral with astronaut Gordon Cooper on board. During the flight, Cooper heard nostalgic music playing over the sound system that sounded like a replay of an old-timey radio show. And so he radioed NASA to thank whoever had sent the program, but controllers replied that they hadn't sent any program and knew nothing about it. The signal persisted for about 20 minutes and then vanished. The question of who had beamed the music to the astronaut prompted extensive research. Everyone was trying to figure it out. All radio and TV programs across the country were checked that day, and none were responsible for the music Cooper heard. They finally figured it out, that the program he was hearing was a broadcast that had aired once in the 1930s and never again. There was no logical explanation for him hearing that. And physics now tells us that the universe doesn't behave the way we think it does, which frankly is something Scripture has been saying for a very long time. Jesus speaks with Moses and Elijah across centuries. Philip appears in one city and then suddenly is somewhere else. I mean, teleportation is happening in the Bible. Time bends, space folds. God moves outside the boundaries. Even our own bodies know this language. Doctors in England have found that if a child accidentally loses a finger, the thing to do isn't to close the wound or stitch it up, but to keep it clean, open, and unbandaged, and the finger will grow again. The younger the child, the more rapid will be the regeneration. But here's the thing, the world is a wild place, and we are surrounded by miraculous things, but sometimes, like Peter, we forget. I forgot about this until I was working on this episode, but when I was younger, from high school into my 20s, I used to dream about conversations before they happened. Once I dreamed my 17-year-old coworker told me she was unexpectedly pregnant. And then the next day, she pulled me aside and repeated the exact same words from my dream. See, sometimes God lets us know things not to impress us, but so that we can be ready to stand with someone else in their fear. And Scripture reminds us that this is pretty standard stuff for God. He speaks through dreams all the time to Solomon, to Joseph, to kings, to pagan priestesses. Even Pilate's wife, Claudia, told him not to execute Jesus because she had been warned in a dream, but he didn't pay attention. There are so many reasons we don't pay attention to God operating in our daily lives. Sometimes we're so busy we don't have time to notice, or our lives are so loud we can't hear the voice of God. which in my life usually shows up a lot quieter than I thought it would. Or perhaps we're so unfamiliar with the power of God that we've assumed it's just something that shouldn't be trifled with. Which brings us to today's conversation. Today we're joined by my pastor, my friend, and one of the most thoughtful voices I know on spiritual formation, Nirup Alphonse. Nirup's a pastor, author, speaker, husband, dad, and the lead pastor of Lifegate Church here in Denver. Help me welcome Nirup to the Mandy Show. Woo woo! Oh, look at that. What's your best dance move? Do you have like a signature dance
Oh,
move?
the Macarena, 100%.
Really?
So
The
not the
electric-
not the crip walk.
Not the crip walk.
Okay.
In front of white people, they're impressed.
They are
but-
so impressed. Yeah. I was looking at you going,
No, yeah.
no.
I would not feel confident around you.
Doing the crip walk.
Yeah, Mandy,
Okay.
she'd be like,
She
that.
would
I'm
love
like,
it.
whoa,
She'd
that
be
is
like,
impressive.
Best move I've ever
She's
seen.
Yeah.
like, that guy's like a brown Joe.
If you were trying to impress Jay, what would you do?
Janelle, I'd make barbecue. Trust me.
You would?
Oh.
Trust me.
It'd be hard to impress me though, because Rick is a grill master.
Well, you can't compare it to him, but
Okay,
compare it to
Just
anyone else.
okay.
I would get you with barbecue.
Okay. I believe it.
For sure.
I've heard you can throw down though.
I can in the kitchen.
Okay, yeah.
Pure survival. I have to
Yeah.
be able to cook in my house.
Okay.
True. You've got a lot of children. You've got a hot wife. You've got to keep, you've got to keep up.
Yeah, it's a tough job being a pastor, trophy husband,
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a lot going for you.
but it's a role I was born to play.
You really were. You really were. Hey, I'm excited today to talk about feasting and fasting. And you just did a brilliant sermon on fasting a couple of weeks ago.
Thank you. Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was so good. And fasting in my life has been so formative and an essential part of following God. So I'm just really excited to talk about it. And Jay, I know fasting is a big deal for you as well.
Absolutely.
So let's just start at the basics. Like, why do you think fasting is important? And I think it's kind of a lost art in our current cultural narrative. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a good, Coach. I mean, I first think of whenever there's, whether you call them spiritual practices or disciplines or walks. I prefer the term walk. I think you have to be careful that it's not necessarily about the particular discipline or walk. It's what it's pointing to or what it's creating or what it's transforming inside of us. So ultimately, the call we have in our lives as followers of Jesus is whoever we are, wherever we are, whatever we've been through, whatever our DNA is, our ethnic background, our Enneagram score, is how would Jesus live if he were me? And how would Jesus live if he were you and he were you and he had all of our lives? And so fasting is a component that allows us to be refined by the Lord as we walk in holiness before him. Because you can, Jesus will say, you do all the religious things, but on the outside, you look great, but on the inside, you're devastated on the inside. You just look at this religious performance. So I think we have to be careful first that we're not just trying to do some kind of religious performance, but there is something significant about it. And when you read the Bible, I would say two things stand out. One, Jesus in Matthew 6 says, when you fast.
Yes.
Meaning it's not a suggestion. It's not, hey, if you think about it, if you have anything to do this weekend, consider fasting. It's when you do this, this is your approach. And Jesus is tying into something all the way in the Old Testament, that before people could get into the presence of God, they had to fast and consecrate themselves and rid themselves. And food symbolized and was a part of them cleansing their soul of ambition, of desire. Before I get into God's presence, I need to know that my heart is pure and clean as I come before him. And so fasting was a way in which the people of God practiced that to get into the presence of God, which then Jesus, of course, practices and then shows us what it means. So I don't think it's possible to really be a faithful follower of Jesus if you're not obeying commands that he has for us, including the ones such as when you fast. And we can talk more about specifically what that looks like for different people in different situations and health and things like that. But it's clear, Jesus says, when you fast, meaning he's telling you, you have to do this.
Totally. I'm curious for you personally, how has fasting showed up? Like, when did you start practicing fasting and recognizing the importance of it?
Yeah, I started in college. I did my first fast, and it was not a good decision because I read the verse, and I just became a believer. And I'm like, Jesus says it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sell everything, and I'm going to just go. And so I was like, I'm going to fast. No preparation, no prayer, nothing. I fasted. And I think I went 5 days, nothing except water. at all. And after the 5 days, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna break my fast, which is where the word breakfast comes from, breaking fast. And I remember my brother saying, hey man, you're breaking your fast, eat something light.
Ease into it.
Like a
Ease
salad. I'm like,
into
I know. Like, don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm
What did you
doing.
have?
This is
What did
between
you
me
eat?
and
So I
Nirup?
fully planned on having a salad, which is probably the first salad I've ever had in my life. And as I'm driving, there was a Five Guys burger that I saw.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, maybe the Lord wanted me to have this
Wait.
to break my fast. And it was the worst. I think I was in bed for the next 4 days because my body was just, just my body's like, what are you doing? I thought Jesus was going to take me. So that was my first experience with fasting. So after that, I was like, okay, maybe there's a little bit more faith behind this and there's some health behind this. And so now I do a couple different fasts. I will fast if there's a specific decision that I need to make that weighs heavily on me and it affects others than just me. It affects my children, it affects my wife, affects the church, affects my family. I won't make that decision unless I have fasted and spent time with the Lord. And I'll even tell other people, hey, I'm fasting from this time, a specific group of people, pray for me at these times. And usually I'll pick a day of the week and it's a 24-hour fast. So I'll eat my last meal and then 24 hours later is when I break the fast. So I'll do fasts like that. If there's specific large projects or like I'm praying for my marriage, I'm praying for our church, then I might go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And then I will every year I will do a minimum of a 40-day Daniel fast, which is essentially if it didn't come out of the ground, you can't eat it. And I'll do that. And I never feel better physically,
Seriously.
spiritually,
Seriously.
emotionally, relationally when I'm out of that 40-day fast. And so I incorporate those in my life. I don't necessarily have a scheduled rhythm like I have for prayer or for reading the word or worship. That one I'm just asking the Lord, hey, when do I need to, God, implement this? But if I sense there is something in my life, especially an idol, like I ever had those moments where there's an idol, but you can't quite figure it out? Like I know it's here. Like you walk in your house, like there's a weird smell coming from somewhere, but I can't tell where it's coming from, and you kind of have to investigate it. And you can't do anything else until you find it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel for me when I sense there is an idol in my life. And I need to fast and seek the Lord. Like, God, show me what this idol is so we can discover it together and heal me of it. So that's how I would incorporate it in my life.
Yeah, that's so good. Jay, I know you incorporate fasting into your life a lot. Will you share about your experiences?
and thinking about what you said as far as idol, Nirup, I call them little G's in my life. I'm like, I know I have a little G in my life. Like, where is it? What is it? And I'm always nervous to ask God the question to show me what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to be something that I love, that he's going to take from me, knowing that it's good for me. I mean, that's the whole reason I asked the question. But fasting helps me see that too, just clearly. And then there's, some moments of disobedience because he showed me and I'm like, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean The Bachelor because The Bachelor shows like people, finding love for the first time. But he took The Bachelor from me and The Bachelorette. For me, I do a first fruits fast beginning of the year. And it's typically 40 days. And it's kind of like this gratitude fast out of the year before, thanking him for all the things that he did for me the year before, and then preparing me into the new year. And then I've incorporated personally a lot of intermittent fasting throughout the year. Same.
That's
if
good.
it's a family prayer, we strongly believe that if there's a spirit, we know that there are certain things that can't be removed without prayer and fasting. And so it's just, my mom, I think we did that when we were teenagers. I think my mom's a minister.
So you use it as
that
spiritual
was
warfare also.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think that's the main reason we use it.
That's really good. I forgot to mention that one, but that one's a good one too.
That's how it shows up for me a lot of the time, especially this last year. I'll hear the phrase, you need to go to battle. And this year I had to go to battle for my husband in a way, like some work things that were going on. And for me, that's usually a 21-day fast, like mimicking Daniel, right? Like he went to battle and fasted for 21 days. And then it ends up that the angel appears and is like, oh, I was battling against the Prince of Persia or whatever. And so I just think it's so powerful. And the other thing that I've been really wrestling with, I'm curious your idea on this, Nirup. I think sometimes we think that the practices we do are for us, like communion and baptism, or like, oh, this is my symbol to the world. And I actually think that the kingdom of God has legality to it. And I actually think those practices, yeah, they're for us, but they're also breaking open things in the kingdom. Like, I think communion is not just happening here on a physical plane. There's something that happens in the spiritual realm when we're taking communion together. And there's something that happens in the spiritual realm when we're professing our faith through baptism. Like, it's not just here. There are legal contracts that are, I don't know, getting renegotiated or whatever's happening. I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about that.
That's really good. I would agree. You know, Paul talks about in Ephesians that our ultimate fight is not against flesh and blood.
That's right.
Which it feels like it is, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like, no, I think my fight is against.
Yeah, because I'm feeling
is
it.
against
Right.
my wife at this moment, and we can't come to an agreement on what a Yeti cooler is,
Right.
and we're trying to discuss this. And I do feel like Kaylee knows what I'm talking about. The other day I was like, we're getting
fight.
a Yeti cooler. And she's like, what do you mean by cooler? Is it like a mug? Is it a cup? I'm like, no, it's a cooler. But what kind of cooler is it? I'm like, what do you mean? It's a freaking cooler.
There's a lot of different
I didn't
sizes.
buy it.
It was
I
his
got
last
gifted
straw.
it.
He
Yeah.
But wait, are you
exploded.
buying it because it says Yeti on
No,
it?
someone
Nirup,
gave it
is
to me.
a-
And she's like, what kind of cooler is it? Like, can you drink out of it? Like, I didn't buy it. I'm just saying I'm like, after
like an
18
hour,
years,
we
why
talked
can't
about
we
it.
communicate? You know? So it feels like,
feel like
no,
you don't
no.
understand me.
My battle is against flesh and blood. You know, like if God would just take this person out, then my life would be easier. But he says, like, no, the actual battle is in the power and the principalities and the spiritual forces and the spiritual realm. So I think there is a cosmic battle that's happening. And so two things what you're describing is our practices here are, one, attached to an eternal story. It's attached to an enduring story that began in the garden that will move through Revelation. And so we're participating in that battle. But I think the second thing is part of the reason we feel that tension, especially in the West, and certain demographics of the West are more than others, is because we're raised here with this type of hyper individualism, or this everything I do is it's my faith, it's my walk with Jesus, it's my discipleship, and you would never really find this in the ancient Near East or in the early church, or even parts of the world where faith in God, in Yahweh, is a communal experience. And so when you come to the table, communion, it's an act of defiance. And it's saying, we are collectively feasting on God, and nothing else will satisfy us. Wow. And we are going to break bread together with people that don't look like us and don't act like us and don't think like us and don't talk like us, but we are all purchased by the blood of Christ. And we are now entering into this moment, which is really sacred and really beautiful. So I think we have to see fasting as an act of defiance, prayer as an act of defiance, communion as an act of defiance. It says, I will not give my soul over to another. I will not give my body over to another. And so I think what you're describing is that participation in what's happening in the supernatural.
So if someone's listening, they're like, okay, cool. Like, where do I even start with fasting?
Yeah,
And
I would
fasting
start with
practice.
firstly having I would say two things. One, a lot of people won't start a spiritual practice or spiritual discipline because they don't feel a conviction behind it. And I would say if conviction is your starting point, there's a whole lot of things. I will tell you, I have never not once been convicted to wake up at 2:00 in the morning and check on my kids. Not once have I been like, you know what? Like, I feel such a deep conviction to wake up. Because you know when you're first married, you're like, oh, if you wake up, I'll wake up. You know, I'll help you with the kids. And then by your second kid, you're like, it's your turn. I've been up 3 nights in a row.
You're pretending you're asleep.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like, and you're like, I just have a cold. I'm not feeling too good. I don't want to get the baby sick.
I shouldn't be around the baby.
Yeah, I should be around the baby. You should be around the baby, you know? So I think a lot of people will not engage in something, whether it's forgiveness or confession, because like, well, I don't feel convicted about it yet. Well, like, you don't need to feel convicted about something Jesus says to do. So that's just, if Jesus says to do it, then whether I understand it or not is totally besides the point. Totally besides the point. I need to engage in
that
it.
again.
And there's something in the obedience.
Yeah.
Because most of us, what we prefer
Better than
is
sacrifice.
understanding before obedience.
Yeah.
Like, well, let me understand all of it. Let me know the science behind it and the benefits.
Right.
But that's not walking by faith. That's not your word is a lamp unto my feet. I'm gonna take one step. So understand Jesus says do it. That's number one. But I do think there's wisdom in it. And obedience and wisdom are not in an argument with each other. So I think you have to take a look at yourself,
good,
your
Nirup.
body, your health, and say, okay, can I? What kind of fast can I do? Do I have medical issues? Do I have problems biologically that I need to go seek a medical professional to ask what kind of things do I need to, can I fast? So I think there's wisdom in that. I think where I would first start is almost like you're taking a journal of your sort of, what is your, why is food your response or your reaction? So I know if I'm having a bad day, it is straight to a bag of sour Skittles. Or I'm going straight to Andy's on the way home, and I'm gonna get as much frozen custard, which is all the best part of ice cream. It's like the fat. I mean, it's like,
Absolutely.
it's how God intended for ice cream to taste. Or I'm going to Little Man's, and I'm gonna fuel up on sugar. So I have to be able to recognize, almost don't fast for a week or two, and just write down a journal of when do I turn to food?
Yeah.
What kind of food do I turn to? And that should give you some kind of an awareness of, man, I think I turn to sugar, or I turn to alcohol, or I turn to fatty foods, I turn to acidic foods, and get an assessment and awareness of why I turn to food. And then see that there's a connection between food and the soul. So I would start there. And so maybe the simplest fast would be things like, I need to cut out candy or sugar or energy drinks from my life first. So I would start with that first to just begin to, integrate you into a life of faith.
What about Zens?
Zens? What's a Zen?
What's a Zen?
Naru.
Zen.
What's a Zen?
No, Zen. Not
Zen?
Zen.
Zen.
Z-Y-N. Let's talk to Graham about
is
this.
Zen is Zen a
We
sin
need
with
to
a Z?
really, let's
I
dig
had to
deep
be
here.
educated on this too.
What is a Zen?
Oh, does he not know? Are we exposing something
A
that?
Zen is.
I don't know much about popular culture, okay? I just realized the other day Billie Eilish was a girl. I thought it was a dude. So
No, we don't have to talk Zens if you don't want to.
we're children of the 90s, guys.
That's right.
We're
Actually-
kids of the 90s. We're not, I don't know what TV shows are on now.
Yeah.
What's a Zen?
And
It's
whatever
a-
show it is probably not that great.
Is a nicotine pouch.
Yeah.
It's like safe chew.
So if you're
Almost.
getting off of cigarettes, you put it
You
on?
put it in your mouth.
No,
yeah.
but people use it just for like a little boost.
It's like caffeine,
no,
like
never.
a zinger, like a. It's an
Oh,
upper.
no.
It's an upper for sure.
I was working, this is like when I was in college, I was working as a mover because obviously I have the body of someone who can lift
do.
heavy
Really?
things.
You do.
And these guys were having chew and they're like, you want to try some? And I thought I was going to die. I was like, pull over, let me out. Let me just die on the side of the road right here. I'm like,
Were
how
you
could anybody
puking?
do this?
Yeah.
How?
Why would you want to put this in your body? I don't get it.
Right.
I like it.
No, I can't. I could not. I would not make it. I would not make
I couldn't
it.
do it.
we get a kick
Which
out of
means-
But I think we just
We're just
discovered.
Hey.
I think we just discovered Graham's little G right
Yes.
there.
Oh, we discovered this months ago.
Yeah, he didn't even need to
This
fast.
is- this
Yeah,
is
months
ago. And Red
sensitive.
Bulls.
I know.
The Holy Spirit is sanctifying. This is what sanctification
He has
looks
another
like.
one that he hasn't mentioned, but you're his mentor, so
And-
maybe
and
he'll
Red Bull.
maybe he'll confess.
Oh, I know
that
the
to
Red
you
Bull.
later.
This man
Yeah.
keeps Red Bull in business.
At least get
It's
some
pretty
stock.
And the
impressive.
Red Bull in my system
At least
keeps
get some
mom coat.
stock.
Right.
My
That's
heart would
fair.
stop.
Let's keep the Red Bulls
Stop.
coming.
I would be too jittery. I think my heart would stop.
Oh, I
would die.
can't. No,
I would die.
I would be puking.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, I have a very sensitive system.
I had a double shot of espresso once, and I thought Jesus was going to take me.
Yeah, I understand that.
If it weren't for caffeine, Lifegate wouldn't have made it through COVID.
It was, yeah. Graham, I think our budget just to keep Graham
Caffeinated.
caffeinated. He had like an IV of caffeine.
Yeah,
injected
just
in his
walking
body.
around with a drip.
'Cause
It was good.
We were pre-recording everything and then uploading there, and so
Uploading.
I was sleeping at
Sleeping at church.
Oh, I love that.
Rent free though.
dedication.
Hey, rent free.
Rent free. That's true.
Let's-
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah,
That's a good
I would
point.
not
Good
recommend
point
anybody go hardcore fasting. I would not recommend. I mean, unless the Holy Spirit is like, you got to do
Yeah.
this. I would not recommend. I'm about to go 40 days. God is not looking. God is looking for obedience. He's not looking for a type of measurable.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Jesus is our standard. Jesus is the standard for what we are to be followers of Jesus, and we find our righteousness in Him. So we know that there's nothing we can do. All of our acts of righteousness are like filthy rags. We know that. So we're not trying to like, oh God, look, like I fasted 40 days, I fasted 60 days. Like, the Lord leads you to that, and certainly do it. But even when people ask me, how can I start reading the Bible? I'm like, read 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just start 5 minutes a day and create a healthy pattern in your life. And I find that fasting, as many spiritual disciplines do, reveals a whole lot of other things.
Yeah.
So it reveals idols, reveals patterns in your life. Like
Yeah.
I think I have an unhealthy pattern with the way I use time and the way I use sleep and the way I approach what I put into my body. And so allowing that, if we're going to love God with heart, mind, body, and soul, I think we often skip the body part. Like I'll love God with my soul, I'll love him with my heart, I'll love him with my mind, but I'll eat like
I'll love
trash.
others.
Yeah. I'll love
Yeah.
others. I'll
But me,
serve.
yeah.
You know, I'll give generously, but I'll
Yeah.
eat like trash. You know, John Wesley, this in the 17th century, John Wesley would tell his congregation, you know, some of the most loving thing you can do towards God is to take care of your teeth, because at the time, like people were dying because of lack of dental hygiene. He's like, if you die young, like, hey, you can't serve the Lord on this side of heaven if you're dying or you're dead. So take care of your body. And so one of the things the church did was helped people with dental hygiene. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine like a church today be like, hey guys, we have a new ministry.
Yeah.
We got toothbrushes, we got toothpaste. We're going to teach you how to brush your teeth.
That does happen at the More Life Center.
Does it? That's good.
At
But those are,
DCC?
Church,
those are the kind of things that are good. So how do you help people love God with their body, with how you use your body? And again, I think we have to be really careful as we talk about body in 2025,
Yes.
just because you know,
Yes.
there's the idea of like, oh, the perfect body is this, or if you look this way, it's unhealthy. If you look this way, it's healthy. So I don't think we want to give people the idea of what healthy looks like, but help them understand like, hey, for you and your DNA,
Yeah.
age, all that kind of stuff, what would it look like to be healthy and move towards healthiness is, I think, you know, and some things easy. To be honest, Mandy, like Janelle, like fasting's easy for me. You know what I hate? I hate going to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go to the
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
Like
I
getting,
thought that's what you were going to say. You do at 2 a.m.
no,
Get up and
getting
go
to the
for a
parking
run.
lot is a win for me.
Yeah.
Like if I get to the parking lot, I'm like, Lord, we made
Seriously.
it. We made it today.
Yeah.
But going to the gym is brutal for me.
Yeah.
Because I
yeah.
look healthy,
Yeah.
but I go a flight of stairs. Call the paramedics.
I think that's such a good point, though. So we were driving home from church the day you preached on fasting, and Elle and I, my daughter, were talking, and I'm like, you know, it's interesting because like fasting, I have dialed in. Like going to be
Easy.
super righteous about
Easy.
this, but like
Yes.
it's like my
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
I feel comfortable. I know how to do it. I hear from
Agreed.
God when I'm doing it. I'm like
Agreed.
really calibrated. I like get it. Feasting, I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not good at it. It makes me uncomfortable. I feel out of control. Like fasting, I like the control of it. The feasting part, I couldn't even tell you. And so I think there are fasting people and I think there's feasting people. And I
Yeah.
think like you guys are fasting people. Graham's a feasting person.
Yes.
Yeah.
My husband's a feasting person. Like we just are more naturally inclined to one
Yeah.
or the
I
other,
mentioned
think.
fasting to Rick, and he's like, why?
Why would I do that? That sounds awful. Hannah's more feasting too. And I think there's something about temperament.
Yeah.
I think people like us are probably more drawn to the kind of difficult surrender, like God refine me, and
I want
other
to
people.
suffer. I want to like feel.
Yeah,
it.
I want
just
to.
wanna,
I want to feel. I want to feel like I'm being refined.
Yeah.
Whereas Hannah's like, I love what the Lord's doing in my life right now, and she's just
Yeah.
feasting on the Lord
Yeah.
and enjoying
Yeah.
life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you should not be
Yeah.
enjoying life that much.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how to
There's
do
something
that.
wrong in you,
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
The world sucks. You know, the world's a dark place. Come join
I
me.
think
in his-
Kaylee's a feasting. You're a feasting person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kaylee finds the best in everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
Yeah.
Kaylee.
I love that
blows.
about
There's
her.
nothing good about this.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come out of this. Just
Teach us how to feast, you guys.
Just
What's
misery
the-
with me.
What's the trick?
just be miserable with me.
Ego. What's the trick to feasting?
Jay's like you're a half and half.
I
You
think
know how to
so.
feast too.
Well, Nirup, can you define feast?
Well, there's two aspects to
Biblically-
feasting.
biblically.
I think feasting on the one aspect is to truly come to a place in a practical level where you enjoy food,
Yes.
where you're like, man, I love seeing the steak and the bread and like all of it. And you're like truly, and it's a satisfying, not simply in the taste of it, but this deep, kind of what you talked about, the first
Yeah.
fruits, this deep
Yep.
gratitude that God created flavor. And God created the way that these spices work together and it enhances flavor. So I think there's something about that where many of us, we just eat for necessity.
Yeah.
Like I got to get in, get out, eat, and I got to go. We're like, no, sit and dine at the table
Right.
with others, dine with others. So you're just breaking bread with other people.
And it's the story of God's people, right? This
Story of God's
story
people.
of a pattern of fasting and feasting and abundance and
Yeah.
worship and like relishing in the
Yes.
goodness of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So
important to
it's
know,
like-
the same
Yeah.
God that calls us to fast is the same God from the Old Testament that is constantly throwing parties for his people.
Totally.
Constantly. There's a
Yeah.
feast. There's always a feast. There's
Yeah.
always a table. always, and that's what I love about the book of Luke. You know, one theologian says Jesus is either at a table, going to a table, or coming from a table.
Right.
He's
Or
always
flipping
at
over a table.
Flipping over a table.
Yeah.
So I think there is this reality of,
Yeah.
man, I need to come to, and that is lost in American culture right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
This idea of coming to a table, because
Yeah.
food has become such, it's just all about the industry of hospitality. But if you look at it from a biblical sense, of I want to gather with people, sit with people, I'm gonna organize a meal one day a week where people come to my home and there's no phones and it's just the food is at the table, which in our transient world, like in Denver, so many young adults it's been years since they've sat at a table with the food at the table and it's prepared and it's there, versus I'll just go pick up something and I'll just come sit and eat real quick. So I think that's one aspect of feasting, but it's also learning how to feast on the Lord.
Yes.
Like just having the presence of God so rich and so satisfying that you don't even think about food anymore. Your soul is being so nourished in the presence of God, so deeply satisfied in God's presence. And so I think that to me is what feasting is, you know, and it comes in simplicity. I think one of the most biblical lines is from the great movie, The Lion King, where,
The Lion
you know,
King.
where either Timon or Pumbaa, I can't remember which one. I think Timon said it, where he, you know, because little Simba is used to eating the best gazelle
Yes.
and the best of everything,
Yep.
but now he's with his broke friends.
Gotta eat these
And then
bugs.
Timon says, and he picks it up and he
Yeah.
goes, slimy yet satisfying.
Yeah.
And I think there's something like spiritual about that. Like this simple thing that comes out of the ground
Right.
is so deeply satisfying.
Like a carrot.
Right. But why is it satisfying? It's like because he's with his friends. Like he's eating it with his friends.
There is
Like,
a difference. My husband's a gardener, and when we eat the vegetables that he grows, it is exponentially different and more flavorful, and than him picking it up at King Soopers. And there is a holy moment about it.
Well,
you know,
absolutely.
the soil and watching it grow and seeing the little green leaf come up, and we just know that zucchini is going to be the bombest
Yeah,
zucchini
I mean the
ever.
flavors, you know, came
Yeah,
out of no
yeah.
pesticides, no nothing.
Yes,
but it's
yes.
also what you're talking about, and what you're talking about is it's connected to a story.
Amen.
It's one
Yeah.
thing to be like,
Yeah.
hey, check out this zucchini that I
Yeah.
just bought from, you know, Whole Foods, and I
Right.
spent our mortgage on this thing, you
Right.
know, versus no, I dug the ground and we
Yes.
cultivated it and we
Yeah.
grew it and
Yeah.
it was like our hands were contributing to the soil of the earth, and it makes us remember that we're humans. You know, like we garden, we tend.
right.
God in Genesis called us to be gardeners, to tend, to cultivate, to grow. So I think you're connecting it to a story, which is what makes it more powerful. You know, I mean, if he goes and he shoots his own like cows and stuff, and he like grills those up,
Yeah.
let me know when to come over. 'Cause
I will. That is where he draws the line.
we grew this own
Not
cow.
a hunter.
We grilled it
I
ourselves.
slaughtered this cow.
You know, it's so funny. Growing up, I grew up in India, and I love going to the market. Like going to the market in India, it is as a kid. It's an adventure. Because here, you know, you go buy everything for a month and you throw it like
Yeah.
no,
Right.
there you go every day. You only buy what you need for the day.
Oh,
So I go with
okay.
my mom, and she, you know, fresh vegetables, and I mean the color, the flavor, the
Wow.
the livelihood. So it's there, and then you know she's like, I'm gonna go get chicken. So I go to get chicken, and she would literally
Oh yeah, because you
like,
got a
which
live
chicken she wanted.
Wow.
She
Yeah.
chicken, she was like, you know, look at this chicken,
Yeah.
and she's like, this one, and they would take it. And I'm a little kid, and they would take it, and they would
Oh,
chop
man.
its head and throw it in a pit, and we just see it running around.
Oh my god.
And it was
With
epic.
no head?
No head. It was epic. Epic.
Oh my
And then we moved to America, and my mom says, I'm going to the
can't.
grocery store. So I'm like, let's go. And we go to get chicken. I'm like, what is
And
this?
you see it in
Yeah.
a package.
Like, why are they already
Cello-
dead and naked? Like, when are we
wrapped
cutting heads off
cellophane.
here?
Yeah.
You know, like I want to tap into my manhood. Like, what are we doing right
Yeah.
now? It was so discouraging.
Different
I was like, man,
experience.
different experience.
We need to get you a little chicken coop, some of your own chickens. You can get out there and really.
I have I have 4 sons. Those chickens would not last.
That's fair.
They would not last till lunchtime.
That's fair.
They wouldn't. And my kids they're animals, man. They would probably eat that thing raw. They're not. My kids are not.
They'll
I'm trying to
pluck
teach
it
them how to be
themselves.
gentlemen. Like, be a gentleman, man. Be a gentleman.
I like
They're not.
feral kids.
Oh,
They're my favorite kind of
yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah.
My 10-year-old has an like it's sort of tapered now. It's a little bit better, but he had this obsession with just like you guys live. He would just get like naked for no reason. Like we'd be like hiking, and he's like,
like, I need to
I'm
be
like, what are
free.
you doing, man? This is you can't do this. You can't be in.
We're in public.
You can't be in Cherry Creek Reservoir with no clothes on, man. Like get out of like Laird the bear, and he's like out there, and he's got long hair, so he just
Yeah.
looks like little Jason Momoa running around. You know, I'm like you can't do that.
Oh,
So my
great.
kids are nuts, man.
They're
Kaylee lives in our basement. I think she texted me yesterday. She's like, your sons are nuts.
I said, when are you coming home? I can't do this anymore. I'm packing my stuff.
They're really nice kids. They're just,
They're
They
so
are.
beautiful.
they must be
They're the
chewing on
sweetest
Zyn all
kids.
day.
Yes.
That
And
makes
Red
a lot of
Bulls.
sense.
I
Yeah.
haven't given
Yeah.
them-
They must be like, they must have patches and all
Patches.
kinds of stuff because they are
No, they're just little boys.
full throttle.
Just
full
packed with
throttle.
energy. Touching Kaylee's face all day.
Yep. They've
Which
learned to
one
shut
did you
the
say
door.
touches your face a lot?
Levi.
Levi.
He'll come in my room at 6 a.m. I don't have a door, so the curtain. I'm like, hey, you're supposed to knock on the curtain. Nope. Open it up. Time to wake up.
What are you doing?
He's so
and,
sweet,
and Hannah's always
though.
like, leave her alone. She's a grown woman. She can sleep.
Do you get up or are you like, I'm still sleepy?
I'm like, just get in here. I'm like, what do you want to watch? Just sit with me.
Also rent free.
Also,
Also
with a
rent-free.
cost.
Praise God.
Just not
Praise
money.
God.
Kaylee is now I think we counted the other day. Kaylee's now number 37
Praise God.
of people who lived in our house.
God bless you.
so fun.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
No one's ever paid rent.
Praise
One
the
girl
Lord.
did from IWU. Remember?
Oh, I think she legally had to because of her like job or something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But it works out in the long run because every time I need Graham to do something, I was like, remember, you live rent free.
That's right. That's right. You can hold
And
that
it
for a
works.
long time.
Uh-oh.
And also the free counseling sessions.
That's
free
right. The mentoring,
Yeah.
the
Pastoral.
yes.
Yeah.
But when Graham lived in my house,
Godparent.
when Graham
the
lived in our
you
house,
have a
I would blame
tattoo
Graham
dedicated
for
to Nirup.
everything. Everything. If there was a stain on the couch, if there was a weed
Graham
in the
did
garden,
it.
like
Freaking
freaking Graham.
Graham
And
did
Hannah
it.
would come, like Hannah would jump to. Hannah would probably take a bullet for Graham before she took one for me.
She would.
He was like
my
her
savior.
like younger brother. She's like, how dare you
It
blame
wasn't Graham, it was
How do
probably
You have
you."
no idea. It could have been anyone. I'm like, who could it be? We've been gone for 10 days. He's the only one here. Who could it possibly be?
Oh, it was definitely
There-
Graham.
They had gone on vacation and came back, and he was like, why is the couch so stained? And he was like, it wasn't Graham. And I was like, dude, that's the couch. You look at your.
Is that the
face.
color
You
of
just
our
saw it with
couch?
fresh eyes
Yeah,
since
you
you've been
saw
gone
it
a
with-
Is that
little
what
bit.
it's supposed to look like?
It's just that while you guys were gone for 10 days, you forgot what the couch
We
looked
forgot.
like. And then you came
we
home.
came back and the house was spotless. We're like,
That is so
something's
funny.
we've been robbed. Except they put stuff in and they cleaned it.
Did you have a party while they were gone? Did any shenanigans happen?
No, I worked. When I was living with him, the long time that I moved in with him was during COVID when we were only live streaming at church. And so we were always working.
Yep. But
No
Hannah
time
would like
for parties.
No time for parties.
late night. Hannah would send me a photo of Graham outside mowing the lawn or something. She's like, he's just the nicest. I'm like, no, he's not.
Aw. She wants her
Oh, I
boys
don't
to
mow the
grow up
lawn.
with you.
Did I hear that when Graham was 15, he used to show up at your house like in a button-down?
First time I met Graham, he was like, he's like, sent me this beautiful email. Probably have it saved. You know, this is before ChatGPT, so he clearly
He really
wrote this
acted.
thing.
He wrote it.
Yeah.
And so we go to meet. I don't know who we're meeting. I would go meet this kid, and he is in like slacks and docks and a
Absolutely
and a
nothing of
tucked-in
what you have on
polo
right now.
button to the top. I'm like, what a nerd! I'm
Wow.
like this kid,
That's so cool.
the sweetest,
Aw.
nicest kid across from
Did you
coffee.
feel
He's
like you were going to an interview?
No, I was in the School of Business at CCU,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we were meeting on a Wednesday, which was a business casual day, and so I
Oh,
left
Yeah.
right from class. Not
we were talking
looking
about
like
ministry.
myself.
He's dressed so I
Yeah.
thought he was a Mormon. Like he was trying to.
Yes, yes.
I thought he was trying to convert me to like go to their church, go on a mission trip or something. And then he was like, I think I want to be a ministry. I'm like, dude, looking like that, you're gonna get eaten alive.
Right,
Like,
seriously.
you need to.
Did he have the beard at the time?
No, he was clean, fresh. He was
They
clean.
bring it
clean,
down a notch.
clean.
Now he's got his
He probably
hat,
wasn't
his
using
ball
the
cap
Zins
turned
at that point
backwards.
either.
But
so
Graham,
funny.
like he dresses up. So I don't dress up for Halloween. I'm not,
Graham's a
I think it's an
Halloween
idol in
dresser
my
up.
wife's life, and we go back and forth. She needs to fast and pray over this.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
she goes all. The two holidays she goes all out are Christmas
And Halloween.
and Halloween. She goes
Interesting.
all out, and these
Yeah.
kids are dressed up. The only time I dressed up was
Such a fun
our
time to
first year we
dress
dressed
up,
up was when it was like year 3. She was pregnant, and so she's clearly pregnant, and she wore a T-shirt that said "impregnated by aliens" or by an alien, and then
then
I
you
had
were
a
in-
T-shirt that said "and I'm the alien."
And I,
Clever.
And then I had like my immigration like status on the bottom of it. That was the only time I dressed up. But every other time she goes all out, and Graham always dresses up with them.
that's
Always.
so funny.
They go as like a like what was it one year? Mario, and then Sonic,
Minecraft.
What were you guys this year?
Demon Hunters.
He
like
could have
this.
come with us.
This year, Kaylee
No.
went because we had to do something for Dylan's work.
He passed off the banner. So,
But they go and like they're all dressed up, and I'm like, you know, I don't know if I can say this word on the Mandy show, but I'm like, on Halloween, I turn into like a candy pimp. I'm like, get out there and you better get the best stuff.
You can
better get the
Yeah.
best
you can
stuff.
say that
Bring
word
it,
here.
yeah.
They come back. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I know that house down the street got better stuff. You better
Yes.
get back out there
Yes.
and get to work.
Yeah.
I caught myself when we were giving out candy looking in their
See what they had.
bags to see what they had.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
I'm
take
like,
all mine
"Babe,
out
we got to
first."
stop with these little miniature. We got to do full size candy
Oh yeah.
bars.
We're still in the phase of parenting where we can say stuff that's not true.
Right.
But they think it's true. Like, remember when your parents told you it's illegal to keep the light on in
Yes.
the car?
Yeah.
Yes.
found
And
out
if you
it
make
was
that
out, like,
face,
that's
it's
not
gonna
true.
it's gonna
Yeah.
stay
So
stuck
on
like
Halloween, we use the, oh no, we need to search in case, you know, food's
Just to make sure it's all
poisoned.
safe.
That's
for you
right.
Like,
guys.
it takes someone injected something into that Snickers,
Yeah.
but we go
Totally.
through first, and I'm like, I need
Taking
this
the
one.
best.
If I see Airheads, gone. If I see
I
anything
have to
sour,
say,
gonna.
your choice of candy is disgusting.
Sour Skittles.
Airheads
Did you say
and
sour
Skittles?
Sour Skittles.
Ugh.
No, tropical Skittles. No, original.
I don't know if I've
sour
ever had a
Skittles.
sour Skittle.
Oh, sour Mambas.
You like sour?
I love sour. Sour
Okay.
Jolly Ranchers,
Okay.
and then I'm like I love chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Starburst.
So bringing it back around, do you think that God is teaching you how to feast
Feasting through the Halloween
through
candy.
No candy.
Halloween?
Yeah, so I'm right now on a no candy. No sugar's tough because
Yeah.
sugar's in everything.
It's in
Yeah,
everything.
Everything.
Like it's in water.
Yeah.
I tried a no sugar fast and it was impossible.
Yeah.
Sugar is
It
in
was
everything. You
impossible.
literally have to grow it out of the ground yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did it. I mean, when you do the Daniel fast, you're pretty much doing
Yes.
no artificial sugar. It's all natural.
Yes. It's one of
but
my
no,
favorite
I
ones to do.
definitely I know when I'm having a bad day,
Yeah.
when I'm pissed, when I'm frustrated, when I'm like either someone is gonna get fired or I need to have like a Skittle, like one of these two.
And for
Lord, which one do you want? Do you want me to fire this person or do you want me to get him
and
back?
you
to
better
Skittle.
hope I eat a Skittle.
Yeah, you
or
better
you're
hope there's
gonna
a
get
Skittle
fired.
in my drawer right now. So I do know
Yeah.
that ice cream, which is sad because I'm lactose intolerant. You really should
Nirup.
not. I should not be. Technically, I'm actually allergic to dairy. I should not be having dairy.
Have you tried
bad.
non-dairy
Ice cream?
Bad.
Oh, I would rather get my tooth pulled out with no Novocaine than to have no
But
dairy ice
is that
cream.
because of the flavor or because you're like, I just
the
want all
flavor.
the fat?
The flavor of ice cream. But
Okay.
you know what? I do say this though. I was stuck in Germany for a day, and there's nothing there but cheese,
Yeah.
and I was totally fine.
Yeah.
I was totally. So I don't know
It's
what they
same.
put.
It's the way,
Yeah.
it's the way our food is
Yeah.
prepared here.
The only ice
Yeah.
cream I can have here that never affects me is from McDonald's. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it's just plastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think there's,
Yeah,
I don't think
there's
any,
no real
I think it's,
ingredients
You know,
in there.
I think it's
plastic's
melted
not an
plastic
issue. Yeah,
that comes
for
out
sure.
of that machine.
Sure.
But I do recognize sugar. When I am if I am stressed,
Yeah.
I will search the house or I will
Yeah.
go to the store to go
Yeah.
get candy. So that I
Yeah.
feel like the Lord is really healing me of and bring me through the furnace. But
That is 100% the hardest fast I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is I give up. I do mushroom hot chocolate in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing I care about.
mushroom hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Is it the same company that
it's-
does mushroom coffee now?
It's different. I do the Laird version. Laird
Okay.
Hamilton, who's a surfer, so he has his company. It's my favorite. I don't care about food. Whatever, but giving that up, fasting wise, is like
Yeah.
a sacrifice.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question about food and fasting. There's a story about one of my favorite books is Unreasonable Hospitality, and so I believe he shares a story in this book of his mom died at a young age, but she would always bring him a marshmallow at night. So every night before he would go to bed after his mom passed away, his dad would leave a marshmallow on his pillow. And so even though it was a little, in many ways, an insignificant
Yeah.
marshmallow, but it was a connection to a story, an emotional story. Do you have a food in your life, healthy or unhealthy, that you would connect to an emotional attachment or an emotional story?
That's a good question. I have one, but I won't share it because it'll embarrass my mom. But I will say, my mom did the best she could to keep food on our table. She was a single mom of 5. And so anytime we had something more on the lavish side, we knew she had to really work to get it. And so Thanksgiving one year, we all had our own individual Cornish hens.
Oh, wow.
And we just thought we were rich. We just thought we were, that we felt so loved and kind of, the choice foods, if you will. And then the next day it was, government cheese or, canned beans or whatever. My siblings and I always talk about that Thanksgiving. And we've had, we'll get a Cornish hen just to kind of, have that memory. And it obviously doesn't taste the same. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. I'm sure they do. But we call our mom and we ask her, what was that about? And she's like, I didn't know how I was going to feed you guys. So there was our story connected to it and then her story connected to it. But Cornish hens, which is strange, but
you've done it since then. You've made it yourself.
Yeah.
But do you feel like it emotionally connected you back to that moment as a kid?
100%.
Yeah. So I think food does that, right? Like when they
100%.
talk about,
Yeah.
when
And
they talk
the
about emotional
appreciation
eating,
of food, because I can go to the store and buy whatever I want right now. My mom couldn't do that for us. Our kids ate well growing up, right? There wasn't an issue of, what are we going to feed our kids tonight? So it was always from, a place of my mom had a certain number of, dollar food stamps and, how we would eat, what we would eat, how we needed to stretch food, and then we just have spoiled kids who are like, there's no food in the house, and pantry and cabinets are full of food. So food has when I think about, the scarcity of it, the not having it is a very real thing for me.
Yeah. So I bring that up because I think emotional eating there is a component to it that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Where you default to like, I'm sad. It's the classic scene of someone just got broken up with and there's a tub of ice cream and they're just in their bed watching
Yes.
The Bachelor, just,
Yes.
So I think there is an unhealthy side of it, but I also think there's a healthy side of it, which what you just described is what you just talked about earlier, is the feasting. Like that's what feasting is.
Absolutely.
So for me, I never really search it out, but if someone ever brings me this chocolate, it's called Toblerone. Have you had it?
And the shape is.
In the shape.
I love it.
The pyramid shape.
And the
But-
gold
so I grew up in boarding
carton.
school. And so we didn't, I didn't see my parents for 9 months out of the year. Every now and then, my parents, who did not have much money, would send like a care package to me. It's usually letters and, stuff like from home, photos, but then if they could afford it, which is not easy to get in India. My dad may have traveled overseas and got it, and he would
Yeah.
send me like a little thing of Toblerone or Ferrero Rocher. Like one of those two is what they would get.
Yeah.
So I don't really search out to go get those things, but if someone gifts it to me or I find it and it's on my desk somehow,
Just the immediate connection to
I
it.
instantly
Of course.
feel like a 7-year-old
course.
kid all over again, opening a care package and seeing something my parents something so simple that they wanted to lavish on their children. So I do think that's part of the feasting story. And what's lost in our culture today is that we're not families that sit at tables anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just the secular science shows you that meals with your children 3
So
days a week,
formative.
4 days a week are formative to, that they walk in, like anxiety is lowered. Sexual proclivity outside of marriage is lowered. Defense, all these things that are happening like over a meal.
Yep.
Because there's something
Yeah.
communal and spiritual and sacred happening all right there.
Yeah.
So I think what's hard in our culture today is we're so transient, we're so fast paced. On a given night, there's 1,000 things you have going on that we just miss the beauty of sitting and feasting at a table. And so then we just kind of are just grazers. We're just eating kind of all
Yeah.
day, which then on the flip side makes fasting really difficult because we don't have a healthy pattern of
Right.
eating to begin with. So then we don't have a healthy pattern of going into fasting
Right.
to begin with. So I think it's kind of recentering on, we need to look at the habit of how we train and teach our body in a communal life with friends, family, children, spouse, all that kind of stuff.
You broke that down earlier so beautifully too. We, my husband and I, do couples dinners. We do 2 couples a month who have never shared a meal together, and I have a set of questions. Ricky cooks. We've done it a few times in the last few months of where the conversation goes to. They're not always spiritual questions. It's always, how did you guys meet, or deeper questions. But the meal part is the least of what's happening, but it's cool. I mean, that's what draws people in. And then we do a very large Christmas dinner, and it's at a long table. So the feasting part is fun for me, but also the outcome is the community.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, at the long table.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the story of Christianity. You know, you look at our world today, it's so divided. People are so displaced. And I think the story of
horrible.
Christianity we have to be a people that build longer tables, not
Yeah.
higher fences.
Yes.
And you even look at
Yes.
the communal life of, you know, we live in an older neighborhood. And you look at older neighborhoods in America, like, you know, pre-1970s, it was huge front yards and virtually no backyards.
And tinier homes.
Smaller homes.
Yeah.
And then kind of post 1970s, so
Yeah.
World War II is far over, but you know, there's a bunch of material they had that they can now utilize for things like swimming pools, and American transportation is changing. American life is changing. The idea that you could be born in Ohio but go to school in Florida and get your first job in Chicago and then settle in California, well, that was unheard of. So all these things are changing. And then you look at architecture, where now modern suburban homes are being built, and
Yeah.
it's smaller front yards.
Yep.
A garage, which
Yep.
the garage used to be in the alley if there ever was one.
That's right.
And then huge backyard. And so all of life that used to happen in the front yard,
happening in the
where
back.
kids are playing in the
Yeah.
front,
Yeah.
you know, kids are riding their bikes together and parents are coming home, but everyone's kind of there and life happens in the front. Well, all that shifted to the
Yeah.
back, and everyone became more privatized, and everyone became more closed off to their neighbors, which is strange now. Most people don't know their neighbors.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's like
they
the
don't
art of
know-
neighboring.
Yeah, it's a great
That
book.
book.
Dave Runyon. Yeah.
Excellent book.
Great book. But they
Yeah.
don't know who their neighbors
He's
are.
great.
Right.
And so no one comes over. It's this idea. And so what we try to teach, we model in our home and try to teach in our church, is that the most important room in the house
Yeah.
is the table.
Yep.
That is the most important room. Getting to the table, moments of holiness, moments of laughter, moments of counseling, moments of friendship, you know, just all happening at the table. So I think reclaiming that, I also think is an act of defiance.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I think that's been the story of God's people throughout the story of God, is that he asks us to be people of rhythm and tradition and Sabbath. So Sabbath is a mixture of feasting and fasting,
Yep.
right? Starting on Friday night or whenever you want to practice Sabbath, it's fasting from productivity, fasting from work, fasting from a pace of life, and then feasting
Yep.
together around a table. And it's like God asks us to do that every week. Like it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's where our whole conversation comes together. And I think that's the gift that we give to the world, is to model that. We live at a different pace. We slow down. We invite people over. We practice family dinners. And so it's just modeling a different way of being to a world that doesn't know how to do that at
Yeah,
all.
and the key word is being, right? I mean, Jesus himself in the Psalms, right? He says, I set a table before you.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't say that? Buddha doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Allah doesn't say that. Shiva doesn't say that. Ganesh doesn't say that. Taoism doesn't say that. Your favorite politician doesn't say that. Your
Right.
favorite celebrity doesn't say that. Your favorite athlete doesn't
Right.
say that. But Jesus, the ruler of the world,
Amen. Nirup.
sets a
Yes.
table. And he's the only one. He's the only one that says, but I no longer call you servants, I call you my friend. Because a
And
servant
who do you
wasn't
invite to your table?
right, your friends, because a servant
Yeah.
wasn't allowed to sit at a table. But there's also such a dignity. You know, Mother Teresa. One of my favorite Mother Teresa stories is that whenever she was honored as a dignitary, and they would set these beautiful meals, she would never eat. She would never eat. She would just sit there. And when the dinner was over, she would sit with all the servants and eat with all of them. And it wasn't for show. Like nobody ever saw that.
Yeah.
She's like, well, these are who I most am like. The lowly, the humble, the forgotten, the invisible. Like she wanted to live that way. And so I think this beautiful picture of God's like, no, I invite my friends to the table. And I no longer call you my servant, I call you my friend. So come sit at the table, learning how to feast with God, how to fast with God. But I just don't think, and I would go ahead and say this, there is no practice of learning how to enter
Yeah.
into the refining fire of God
Yeah.
if you don't learn how to fast.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And you'll never, you know, I call it, or I think now one actually calls it, you know, he says prayer is the furnace of transformation. And so I think fasting along with that, I was like, fasting is the furnace of transformation, entering into the heat of God's holy presence. And he's refining all these things, all the attachments, all the
Yeah.
agreements I've made, all the unholy habits I have, all the patterns that need to be broken in my life. Like he's
Yeah.
refining these. And I think most people don't, in my experience, you know, as a professional Christian, my experience is, most people don't want to do these things, not because they're lazy or
Yeah.
they're misinformed. I think they're terrified.
Oh,
Most people are
absolutely.
so afraid
What it might expose.
of what it'll
right?
expose.
Yeah.
And like, man,
Yeah.
I know I'm healthy, but it's okay if we can just keep that hidden.
Right.
Because I can keep the perception that I'm healthy.
Right.
But when it's exposed, then you feel this sense like, will I still be loved? Will I still, because what I've known in my life is when I am exposed, I'm rejected, I'm despised, I'm forgotten. And so Jesus reminds us, well, I became all those things so that you never would have to be. So we can enter in and we can allow all this to be exposed, because whatever we discover, I will love you anyways.
Yeah.
And I will sit with you through all of it. And so it's kind of like, we're all parents, but not to the degree that God is a father.
Right.
But being an imperfect dad, I'm like, hey man, whatever we find, I'm gonna love you anyways.
Right.
And I'm gonna sit with you. We're gonna work through this. And God is doing that at a much grander level. But I think most people, so anyone who's thinking about fasting, I would say that's why God says when y'all fast. Matthew 6 is plural. When y'all do this, because you need other people to be with you when things are getting exposed, who can remind you of God's love, remind you that you're forgiven, remind you of the gospel's truths, remind you that we're with you in all of this. So when you kind of try to do this individually on your own, I don't think you get as much of the richness of the communal gospel life that you have when you're with God's people
Totally.
at the table.
Totally. So good.
That was a sermon. You
That
want us to take up an
was.
offering?
We should. You can scan the QR code or text the word gift.
You need to build or buy a building, so let's make it happen.
We need anyone
Right
out
now.
there who has 15 million. Let me know.
This is going towards your
If
candy
Graham
habit.
stops his Zen
and your
habit, we
ice
probably
cream.
buy the building like
That's
I
that.
know, seriously.
Will you remind me to give you 2 pints of this non-dairy ice cream that I'm obsessed with?
What's
to
it called?
give to Nirup. I
Every
forget the
Basic One?
brand. I think it's SO.
Let's reach out to them. Maybe they sponsor this episode.
And
Oh,
it's
is it soy? Is it like a soy
S-O-Y?
ice cream?
Just don't tell them what
it's
it
not
is.
it no, it's like cashew milk, or it depends on the flavor of the ice cream, but one could be cashew milk, another one's almond milk, another one's oat milk.
Okay.
I'll definitely try, because
Yeah.
you guys are probably like this too. I'm going to try anything once.
I
Like,
am too. I'll try
down
anything
for, like,
once.
That
I'll
is
try
not
it.
true.
And
I'll try anything once.
You will not try my cooking.
You ever-
why? You're a good cook.
Thank you. Every meal
No, I had that
you.
orange chicken that you made the other day.
How was it?
It was a little dull. There's like there's no
You like a
kick
little
to it.
spice.
I'm like,
Oh,
where's
no.
the orange?
You can't give
You
non-flavored.
did it with the sauce on it. The
That's
sauce
true.
was
She's
the
like,
orange.
She's like, you put the sauce on it. I was like, I don't taste any orange.
Well, yeah, because
Exposing
chicken
me.
is
It looked
dull
orange. It looked
until
like
you put something on
it had
it.
that color of, like, you know those like men in Florida who've been over tanned and their skin looks like leather.
He
It
didn't put
looked
the
like
orange
that.
sauce on
What?
it.
It looked like an orange
Well, chicken
leather
is
man.
dull without the
Looked like
sauce.
it
Why
looked like
didn't
a
he
little
put the
Oompa
sauce on
Loompa
it?
I
in there.
don't
Just
know.
you know.
He
That's
was
so
eating
crazy.
candy, so
Is he a picky
He
eater?
was stressed.
No.
Yes.
Well, I'm picky. I'm
Oh my
picky.
gosh,
I'm
how
picky
funny
in
you
that, like,
saying
what
no.
I eat on a normal day, but I would try anything.
Okay, yeah, that's how I am
Yeah.
too.
If you put
and
on a
once I
plate-
realize I don't like it, I'll never eat
Yeah,
it
once
again.
I'm like, no, I'm not.
ever.
I'm never having,
Yeah.
octopus ever.
Or
again.
people are like, well,
Yeah.
have you had it this way? No, I just don't like
Like, I
it.
don't want it.
Well, have you had it grilled? Have you had it pickled? Have you had it
you
baked?
pickled?
I don't like it.
You're like,
so no, I don't
I
want to try
don't
it.
like it.
I don't like it.
So I'll try that ice cream, but it honestly, it
Yeah.
sounds as good as a vegan burger, like in my mind. So
Okay, the other ice cream I want you to try, somebody sent us a gift of Jenny's ice cream, and there's a flavor
Jenny's.
that is goat cheese and cherry. And I was like, that is a weird flavor.
Combination.
It is
Although I love goat
my
cheese and I love
favorite
cherries.
ice cream now. And so I don't know if it has, I think it's
Jenny's?
Do you have
Yeah.
to order
From-
it or can you pick it up somewhere?
It's at Whole Foods.
Is
Okay.
it?
It's
I'll get
delicious.
some for
You're
you.
gonna
That-
spend
That-
well, you
$60.
live
Know
West
that
Coast.
flavor?
You live West Coast. So you ever have salt and straw?
No.
Oh my
Salt and
gosh,
straw.
I
What a
will
great
crush
name.
some salt and straw. It's
That
I
is
think
a
it's
good
only
name.
West Coast. So San Diego, Portland. Whenever I go to Portland, I will crush some salt. But they have
Really?
flavors like that. Like
Yeah.
just you're like,
And I didn't
really
know we have that in
fragrant.
common. I love ice cream.
it's my
Yeah.
ice cream. And do you like sorbet?
It's my go-to dessert. I love sorbet.
I love sorbet.
And I love that you call it sorbet.
What's it supposed to be?
What's
Well,
the other
people
way?
say sherbet.
No,
I'm like,
I love
why are you-
sorbet.
Why are you saying it that way?
I'm not a roller coaster person
Me
anymore.
either. I hate roller
anymore.
coasters.
I used to be, and then like the Lord took that gift from me.
No, he never gave it
So
to me.
my wife and I were in Disney last year, and she's a roller. She could like crazy stuff.
Aw.
So I have
Going
this
with her
moment. I'm like,
boys.
we're in Disney. I can't just let her go on a roller coaster alone. So I was like, I'll go with you. And Hannah's like, you really don't have to. I'm like, no, I can do this. I can do this. So
Oh, Lord.
we go on Rock and Roller Coaster, the Aerosmith one. I'm like, this doesn't look bad. I could do it. I'm like, I'm in, Hannah.
Oh,
like,
no.
this is nothing. Like, I could do this. I'm in. So we strap in.
Wait. Does it go up? Is it a spinner?
It goes
Is
up and
it
then goes straight down to hell,
zigzaggy?
and then
Is
it zigs through.
Absolutely not.
And it
It
loops.
it loops. It twists.
Upside down.
no.
So
No.
within
no.
5 seconds, I was like, Lord, I should not have done this. We're already married. I do not need to impress this girl at all.
Right.
What am I doing? And so as soon as it stopped, I just took out and I walked straight to the car.
Yeah.
I closed the windows, turned it on, put jackets up, and I slept for 3 hours. And she was at the time of her life, like walking around Disney, doing her thing.
What?
And I got out and I had 2 tubs. The only thing I could eat was sherbet. So I had 2 tubs, like the lemon and the raspberry.
Yes.
And then she's like, I knew it was going bad after 5 seconds when you stopped talking. She's like, I knew this is not good.
Oh my!
Oh,
What
no.
made you do that? You know you don't do roller coasters.
You know, it's a moment of pride where you're like, I could do this.
Yeah,
You
I
see
got
what
it.
what did that pride do?
And it
See,
like, yeah.
what does the Bible say about pride?
Like it came before the fall.
That's
know?
right.
One time, a bunch of my buddies
Fall.
we were on a deep sea diving, Sea of Cortez, and like, you should come. And Hannah's like, you should not go.
See, your
I'm like,
wife
I can
knows
do it.
you.
I can do it, Hannah. So we
She
got on
knows
this
you.
boat. I have dope.
Your
Not
patches,
dopamine.
The
your
Dram-
Dramamine.
No,
it's
Dramamine.
called Dramamine,
Dramamine.
Yeah.
not dopamine.
Not dopamine.
Dramamine.
I have like Dramamine behind my ears. I have like a headband on. I got wrist
your pressure
patches.
points
You're ready to go.
I'm drinking ginger ale and sniffing peppermint like I'm a paid to do this. Like I'm an influencer out here. I'm a eucalyptus peppermint influencer. And
like,
I'm okay. I'm
dying.
sniffing it. I'm doing
can't
I'm doing
breathe.
lines of fresh peppermint. Like
Yeah.
and for the first part I was like, I think I'm okay. I think
Lines
I'm
of
okay.
peppermint?
I think I'm okay. And then it hit. I'm like, oh man. And I told the captain, like, you can use me as bait. Just throw me off. I will swim to the shore. Like I can't make
It's
it. I
the
can't do
worst
it.
Yeah.
feeling, and there's nothing you can
There's
do about
nothing
it.
you can
Yeah.
do. So I'm just sitting in the back of the boat.
So
you know,
you experienced seasickness?
it was like a smaller boat. If I'm on
Yeah.
like a bigger vessel, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I can't.
But if I
do
feel
I
it
can't
moving,
do it. I can't do the boat.
if I feel it moving,
Yeah.
So when we
and
do-
my
when we
husband
do
is an
the-
ex-coastie, and he's like, "Keep your eye on the horizon," and I'm like, "It's not.
I can't
helping.
see it anymore.
I'm gonna throw.
Yeah, when we do Momco conference on a yacht,
Okay.
like the Momco
All right.
cruise, then you might need a little
Yeah.
dinghy for me to take me home. Like, get me out of here.
Nirup,
I don't care if we're in the Pacific.
you
Take me home. I want to go home.
We'll just put you on a life jacket, a little
Yeah.
life jacket
Just
on
throw
you,
me
and
out.
just float.
Just throw you
Just
out
let me
there.
float. Let the seals take me home.
I was gonna say then something will eat him
Like,
for
let me-
sure.
let me go.
He looks like yummy chicken.
me
So
go.
yes, someone will eat.
With
I don't know if it'd be
orange
chicken,
sauce.
though.
Yummy chicken.
Right?
Yeah.
'Cause- or
I
maybe
feel like
dark
I'm more
meat
exotic than chicken.
Yes, it'd be dark meat chicken.
Okay.
It's the best part of the
Yeah,
chicken.
but more exotic.
If you were
So
going to be
what?
a
Like
type
a-
of meat, what would you want to be? Lamb? Beef?
I'd be lamb because they're tender and yet tasty, and they're always being sacrificed. Yes,
yes, lamb.
lambs are always
So
being killed.
biblical.
They're always
It's
being
a
skinned
sacrificial
alive.
lamb.
They're always-
Wow, you're so good.
and yet they taste delicious on a
You're
nice
so
Mediterranean bowl.
holy. It's the best of
Yeah,
all of
it's
it.
the best of everything.
That's hilarious.
Put some tzatziki on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's play with Nirup. Let's do something
What
fun.
game are we playing?
I want to do something fun.
What?
Yeah, that sounded
Listen,
weird.
Why does your brain always go? Mine normally does.
Mine.
But
Everybody.
your
That was
brain-
odd.
Everybody's.
Right
That was
after
odd.
the lamb
I want
combo
to do.
too.
I want to do a game with
I
him.
haven't heard that phrase since prom '99.
Oh my god.
Let's play with Nirup.
My mind is like right there 100% of the
Always.
time.
I
If
mean,
there's a-
mine normally
a joke
is,
that
but
could
I'm
go
like,
either way,
there's
I'm
a
like,
game.
I'm there.
We'll side eye during a meeting.
Yeah,
I'm like,
oh,
don't
did
look
they
at
just
me.
say that? Okay, let's play with
I
Nirup.
want to play with Nirup.
I'm gonna send this
Let's
edit
play-
to Hannah.
Let's play a
before-
game with
Just
Nirup.
ask
feel
permission
abused.
To upload it.
You feel manhandled.
I feel used.
You should, honestly, you should.
It's a little payback if you ask me.
Okay, friends, we have a brand new segment featuring Nirup today. It's called Hot Seat Preacher Edition. And so here's how this works.
I'm so excited.
We're going to give you a lyric from a song, and your job is to turn it into a 1-minute talk that gives people hope and has a solid theological tie
Grounding.
back. Yeah.
It has to
Make
have
it
all
really-
those.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the rules are you can't explain the song, you can't give any context for the lyrics, and you definitely can't say anything like that's a weird lyric or whatever. So
Can I bring up the artist if it is in
Absolutely.
reference
Totally
to
can.
the sermon?
Absolutely.
It just as you would do a reference in the Bible.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, first lyric. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I knew you were going to do that.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. When we were dead in our sin, I was in my dorm room reading Ephesians chapter 2, verse 4 through 6. And I thought I was a believer. I thought I was doing the Christian thing. I was walking the Christian life. And many of you think that you're doing the Christian thing, doing the Christian life. But I was reading Ephesians 2, verse 4. And it said, when you were dead in your trespasses,
Preach.
God found you. And then it said, but
A big butt.
but God found you when you were dead in your trespasses and your sins, but now through Christ you've been made alive
Amen.
through him. The Bible is full of buts, and that might be the best butt
That's
in
a
the
big
Bible.
butt. That's a big butt
In the
for
Bible.
sure.
I
Love
like
it.
big Bibles and I
like
cannot
big
lie.
Bible butts.
You ever see that? You ever see that I like big Bibles video from way back in the day?
No,
You ever seen that?
but
I
it
like
sounds amazing.
big Bibles and I cannot lie.
Who did it? Did Weird Al Yankovic do it?
It's like
or
one of those
someone
guys. He's like,
that?
I like them big and leather bound.
No, I don't remember that.
You look it up. It's
Can
so
we
good.
insert
I
that
wonder if
video?
that was
into
Weird Al.
it?
I like big bubbles and I cannot lie. You Christian brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with a KJV and a bookmark in Proverbs, you get stoked. Got a name engraved so you know this girl is saved. It looks like one of those large ones with plenty of space in the margins. Oh baby, I wanna read with ya, cause your Bible's got pictures. My minister tried to console me, but that book you got makes
Me so holy.
Darling, I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. T Swift.
Darling, we'll say that again. Darling, I'm a nightmare.
Dressed like a daydream.
Dressed like a daydream. Darling, I'm a nightmare. Dressed like a daydream.
It's like dating.
As Eve was walking through the cool of the garden,
Boom.
she recognized these two beautiful fruit inside of her. One a dream, one a nightmare. And she heard the voice of the enemy came in sounding like a friend. Most of us in our lives see two things before us, one beautiful, one a nightmare, convinced that the voice that's talking to us is the voice of truth, when in fact it's the voice of deception. And the voice of deception always takes what is beautiful that is conceived in nightmare. And when she takes of this fruit, realizes instantly it's the nightmare, discovering that the intimacy she has with the Father and with her husband is broken. And that same voice that leads you to beauty disguised in what's actually a nightmare can only be rescued by the actual voice of beauty that covers you in your nightmare with the voice of grace.
Boy, get out of here. That
Amazing.
was-
He's good.
Impressive. He's
Amazing.
good. He's real good.
You know, if things
That's
don't work
impressive.
out for you, you should maybe think about
being a
public
preacher.
speaking, writing.
I could try it.
Yeah, maybe.
I did ask to
pastoring
be
a
on The
church.
Bachelorette years ago. That's a true
You
story.
did.
What?
You did.
True story.
You said true story?
True story.
Okay.
They
what
needed the
happened?
diversity
I
card.
didn't get that far.
Wait.
I was
Tell
at
them,
a
I am married to the most beautiful
I was at a
woman
mall.
in the
I was like at a
world.
mall in Dallas, I think, on the phone with Hannah, who was like, we're dating at the time. And this person came up to me and they're like, hey, when are you born?
Oh,
Which I
this
thought
was pre-marriage.
yeah, it was
Okay.
a weird question,
Okay.
I thought. Like, when am I
Yeah,
born?
when are you born?
And then she handed me her card and it was like, I'm from ABC's The Bachelorette or Bachelor. We're like, we'd love to talk to you. And I'm like, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like totally a joke. And then my friend's like, you should call. I'm like, what am I going to offer this girl? First of all, I'm dating someone else. Second of all, I'm a church intern. Like, hey, come with me on this. And have you seen those dudes on The Bachelorette? They're huge. Like, they're ripped. Like, I'm like,
You would have had your own flavor.
I would
That would have been.
She would have been, if I walked in,
Lamb.
she would have thought I was one of those kids that sponsor for
lamb,
35 bucks
for
a month.
sure.
Like, she's like,
my
is this a World
gosh.
Vision kid? Like, is that who we
He's
got
on my fridge.
Did
I
we-
swear I sponsored you years ago.
Didn't we learn that Ben, his job when he was picked for The Bachelor, wasn't he working
was
in his
writing
basement?
software manuals.
Writing
Probably.
software.
So it never got,
Yeah.
so who knows? It was probably a prank.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't even true, but I have no idea. I'd love to
would've
hear
been
from Ben, like
interesting.
what the process was.
Yeah.
What the
It's
audition
We heard
process
it's
is.
pretty
Fascinating.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some
Super
tea
cool.
from Ben.
Yeah, I would not have
Yes,
made it
we
that far.
did.
You never know.
Not that far.
You never know. You could have been.
The way
No, but-
the way you broke down those bars.
But true
just now,
story,
though.
true story. My brother, remember when Ellen DeGeneres was doing like a dating show?
I
Ever remember
don't,
this?
but
I don't remember
She was
that.
doing like a dating show, and so he got asked to be on a dating show. This is a true story. So he calls my dad. He's like, "Dad, I got asked to be on the like the Ellen DeGeneres like dating show." And my dad's like, "No, don't do it. She's a lesbian." Oh my god! And my brother's like, "Well, I'm not going on a date with her.
Was she setting up all different
I think so. I
orientations
think
of
it was
people?
like probably like what Love Is Blind is now.
Sure,
but,
sure.
But 20 years ago or something like
Parents
that.
are my
Remember that
favorite.
show?
Parents are the best.
Oh yeah, we keep
I
it
just,
real.
like, yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen for a long time, but I got
Yeah.
great stories after my parents are dead.
Oh,
Great, because I can't say it now because they watch my sermons, so I can't
Sure.
say stuff.
I would say in the last 5 years, me and my siblings have started to share more stories with my mom of things she just never knew, for pure shock value.
Just to
Because
see
we're
what
like,
she
oh,
does.
she's gonna lose it. She's actually gonna try to put us in the corner.
My mom though is the world's greatest fact checker on the minute details that nobody cares about. So I could say sermon. I was like, I was born in Mount Albania Hospital. It was room
And she's
204.
Googling it.
But I was born with a fever. I was a 101.2, and she'll text me right away. She's like, actually, it's room 207, and you had a 103.4. Like that doesn't. That little
man.
is not going to sell the story anymore. But she
Yeah.
will fact check.
Oh
precise.
my gosh, you got to start
She
telling
will
them some of
fact
those
check.
stories.
But crazy stuff. Like, my mom, she would call, and I think Asian moms do this. She refused to call my friends by their name, but would describe them by their worst feature, like physical feature.
Oh yeah.
She's like, hey, where is your friend? What is his name? Short Filipino guy, big ears, always tanned. I'm like, Steve? Like, he's not that short.
I love it.
Like, what about that one black fellow? He's very tall and has a funny nose. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, just, yeah.
That's funny.
I'm like, Mom, you can't say stuff like that. You'll get canceled. You can't say stuff like that.
I
wanna
always
meet your
wonder
mom.
what the things that I do are that my kids are going to be like, my mom, da da da
Right,
da da da.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Do you know what the things are already that your kids are going to roast you for?
I honestly can't think of any.
'Cause
It's probably more stuff
My-
I say.
Yeah, I think Ricky gets more of that. They're just like, really, Dad? My kids think I'm awesome. So
Yeah, it's probably more me. My oldest son will be like, Dad, I know. Everything has a place. Well, like,
yes.
I'm like, why don't you do it then?
Right.
Yeah.
You know it.
seriously.
Why don't you freaking do it?
Right.
yeah.
Why
So
do I have
they
to
probably
repeat
listen.
myself? They did I don't know. As I'm a pranker now, I was a pranker as a when they were little. They hated it though. They were just like, stop.
I feel like pranking is super fun to do.
It's so fun
but
to
being
do.
the recipient of a prank,
Yeah.
It's got to be the
I'm on
right
the
prank.
fence.
Yeah.
I don't like getting wet. Like if it involves
okay.
like water, or when you walk through a
back-
door and someone like gets
So, like, the
milk,
bucket of
yeah, like, I
water
don't do all
or
that, man. You
something?
want to put a
Okay.
snake in my shoe, fine, whatever.
Right.
But like,
Oh.
you want to
Don't get messy.
yeah, you want to switch out my sour Skittles for tropical, fine. But
Right. That's not even a prank.
but I getting
You're
wet.
giving Janella fodder
If
right
Yeah, for sure.
I get like water, like wet in any way,
How would you respond?
that's my
He would
most
freak out.
ungodly. Like that
so,
was
so you would be angry.
I would be furious. That's
Okay.
That's where you're like, oh,
Okay.
is this dude even a Christian? Like
Okay.
I cannot. I hate.
Yeah. See,
How
to
do
a-
you handle situations where you're supposed to be wet?
Oh, that's fine. If I like we're going to a
If you
pool,
know
and we're
it's
like,
no,
yeah.
we're
If
going
I'm
to a
like,
pool. Okay.
But if someone throws a water balloon at me or a bucket, like something, like I will get furious.
Okay. Have you seen this game?
I hate it.
Have you seen this side of him?
I've never seen him like wet, but
I mean, in the lake or you swimming
No, like in a pool
or
and stuff.
I've
I'm
seen
a
him
pool.
get mad. Oh my gosh! Or if he comes home and he's reaching for the top of the fridge where the sour Skittles are, I go downstairs.
You're like, get
I'm like,
out.
I'm not
'cause
even
you
gonna.
know,
it's
you
not a
know.
good
I'm not even gonna talk to
Yeah,
him
I'm like,
today.
Kaylee, I already talked to Mandy. You're fired.
That's where you keep him on top of the fridge.
Top of the fridge. My
Yes.
kids don't see it.
One time, I think I was having a bad day, and Levi came down. He was like, Dad told me to give you these vitamins. I'm like, vitamins? They were sour Skittles. I was like, I love you.
But I'm also not great with people who are like emotional. Like
Oh,
one time I walked
me.
in and Kaylee's like visibly crying.
And you're
And I'm
like,
and I was like, wait, are you okay? And she's like, and I was like, here's the key to my office. Why don't you just go ahead and cry in there?
my room.
Here's some Skittles, Mike.
There's a couch in there, and just go lay down and
I like called my dad. I'm like, he doesn't know what to do when I cry. My dad's like, ugh.
He's a boy dad.
Yeah.
like, why are you crying? Like,
Or I'm like, I just love life. He's like, you're crying? I'm like, I'm happy crying. He's like, okay.
she's like, I just had the best day, and she's crying. I'm like, really? Are you crying?
That
then?
requires tears.
I'm like, I don't understand what's happening right now.
That is hilarious.
Very confused. All right, are we still playing the game?
This was so
No.
fun.
Game's over?
That was the
That
game.
was the game, and
You
you
killed it. It
crushed
probably
it.
didn't even feel like a game to you. It felt like you just
That was
gave
fun.
2 sermons. That was
was fun.
amazing.
So good.
Crushed it.
Crushed it. Okay, my friends, here we go. Thanks for joining us today. Now's the time where we get to all remind you,
Love ya!